through the misty fells, where the lake winds cry, with a map in hand and a twinkle in his eye. The hills echo steps of a wandering soul. A silver fox grins as he reaches his goal.
Okay, welcome back to the Lake District, and welcome back, more importantly, to that legend there, Mossy. Been a long time, mate.
Been a while. Been a little while.
But I've managed to lag a day off work when he's off, and we're back. And we're back in the northwestern fells. So, take a look at the route that we're going to be doing today, and I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay guys, so that's our route. So 4 new fells today for us both. First 2 are Birkett's, Lothwaite and Rivings, and then we've got 2 new Wainwrights, as I say, of Sail Fell and Ling Fell. So it's only a shortish walk, I would say 7.5 to 8 mile. You can do this really as an out and back to basically both if you park between the 2, but we've not seen each other for a while, so we want to make it a bit of a few hour hike, but there's nothing too strenuous. I think the highest point is 379 metres, which is our last hill, and then it's a bimble through the forest from there, and then what do you reckon, maybe something to eat on the way back in the Pheasant Inn?
Not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker.
Which the Pheasant Inn is just down there. You drive past it on the way in. So as you can see, we're parked at St Margaret's Church in Wythop. Probably room for about a dozen cars. 4 probably outside the church, and then probably
just before as well.
yeah, half a dozen cars in the lay-by just before you get to it. So anyway, we'll carry on walking, and I'll bring you back when the views open up. There's the sunshine, look. Sunshine. Okay, so we through the gate, across a little stream, and then just following this really good track. It takes us round the foot of Sail Fell before we turn right and head onto the ridge up to its summit, which is over there. Okay, so that's us just about to start the ridge walk there up to our first fell of Lothwaite, but look at that, sun coming up over the eastern fells, Wainwright, and then the magnificent Skidder with Longside Edge in the foreground, Lothwaite Pike, the pointy little peak, and then we've got Dodd there. But yeah, our first fell is literally just up here of Lothwaite. I'll bring you back when we're there. Alright guys, here we are on the first hill of the day, Lothwaite. It's a Birkett, 345 metres. Boom! Fantastic.
What's the Birkett there?
Lothwaite.
Lothwaite.
Fantastic. So, over here we've got Barth, Lord Seat, Broom Fell, Grisdale Pike peeking over the top. There's our next hill over the day. It's just there. And there we've got Sail Fell, Winlatter Forest, said Skidder, and then over there you've got the Dodds and Clough Head. Fantastic. What a beautiful morning. And look at that bench. You might have to sit down there for a bit, I think. Yep. There's all the hills over to the Dumfries and Galloway Fells. The bigger one there of Criffle. Over there. Stunning. Right, let's go and have a sit down on this bench for 5. Okay, that's us left Lothwaite. And now heading up to this lump just straight in front of us, which is our next fell of Rivings. Rivings. So yeah, so we'll see what views the Rivings has to offer when we get there. All right guys, here we are on the highest point, the Birkett of Rivings, at 300 and have a look, 35 metres. So this is the highest point, but as there's a cairn over there, we'll touch that cairn.
Good wild camping.
Oh, there you are, there's a mushroom. We'll take that mushroom as the highest point. Hold on. Let's get over and touch this cairn. But that there was the highest point. Oh. There we go. Rivings, 335 metres. Some good spots up here, so that's our next target. Straight ahead of us, Sail Fell. So down from Rivings, through this hole in the wall, and up to our first Wainwright of the day, Sail Fell. Not far now. Alright guys, so here we are, the third fell of the day, my first Wainwright of the day, Sail Fell, 359 metres. And absolutely stunning views. There's Binsey over there, there's the Uldale Fells over there, Skiddaw, and then in front of Skiddaw you've got Longside Edge with Longside, Carlside, Lothwaite Pike. Small one there is Dodd, and then in the background there that's the other Dodds and Clough Head. Helvellyn in the clouds, and in front of us here the pointy one there is Broom Fell, and then we've got over to Grisdale Pike and Hopeville Head beyond that. So absolutely fantastic. So this is where we drop down now and head to our next hill of Ling Fell, which is there. Right, let's go. Oh, it's good to be out with Mossy again. It's been a long time. It's more difficult now with his new job. They've not been able to make weekends, but I've got a day's holiday, so I've took it off and we've got out in the fells. These are great two little fells to walk. So easy walking, nice grass paths. So yeah, definitely. So this is us dropping down now into the road. Probably drop about 150 metres before rising again. Back. Well, that's us dropping off the path that skirts, marked on the map as Dodd Crag. Quite impressive. There's Mossy down there. Look at the picture of me. And yeah, so that's our next target, Ling Fell. Okay, so that's us down from Sail Fell. There's about looking back up to Dodd Crag that we'll be stood on above later. So it's quite a steep path coming down there, but we hit this road and we go down there for a few hundred yards before hanging a left. Okay, so from dropping off Sail Fell, you hit that road for a couple of hundred yards and you turn left, and then you come to another junction in the road and turn right, where the coast to coast path is, and then follow this little road just up here, and then in a couple of hundred yards we're taking a left and we're heading up onto the fell side. All right, so we've come up that road, and we get to this junction of gates. So there's no footpath there, don't go up there. So we're going to go through that gate. Now there is a steeper, more direct path that goes up there, look, but we're not going to take that. We've plotted a path that goes a bit further round and then up along that ridge line. It just keeps it a bit less steep, keeps it a bit easy. There's no rush today, we don't need to get up there quick. So yeah, if you did want to do these two fells quickly, as we passed that, through that first gate down there was a red car, might have seen on the video. You can park there and then literally just an out and back to both fells, but we've decided to make it a bit of a loop, and Mossy was very keen on bagging those two Birketts, so that's why we are doing the route we're doing. So that's us halfway up Ling Fell, looking over to Binsey there, and then in the foreground Sail Fell. Mossy coming up here. It's a steep path, is this? Didn't think it was going to be as steep as this. And then Skidder over there with its tiny little bits of snow left from the weekend. But yeah, so we're just plodding on up here. Alrighty, so path comes up, meets this bigger path. We're going to chuck a left, and this will take us all the way to the summit of Ling Fell, and its trig point. So I'll bring you back when we're up at the summit. So here we are on our fourth and final fell of the day, the Wainwright summit of Ling Fell, 373 metres, and what absolutely glorious views from up here. Top end of Wainwright there. There's sail there where we've come from. And then if we look over here, some new things that I didn't show you last time. We can quite clearly make out the Isle of Man over there. So yeah, absolutely stunning views. And some great places to wild camp up here. Absolutely fantastic. That's looking over to Grisdale Pike. And the part of the Newlands horseshoe that we did a few weeks ago. So yeah, absolutely glorious day, and it's not even cold either. It's just fantastic. There's Mossy there with the magnificent skidder just behind him. So we're going to park our bums down here and have something to eat and drink. It's all downhill from here, halfway through. We'll get down here and it's just all a bit of forestry walking. I'll catch you in a bit. Right, the summit of Ling Fell. It's been a while, but we've got a traditional toppings chili pork pie from Morrie Dogs. £2.25, but worth every penny.
Worth double, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get the thing out.
If you went
Look
to
at
that
guys.
service station on the way home, it'd be twice that, and it'd still be worth it.
Okay, so that's us pheasant watered, and we're gonna head down off Ling Fell now, back down to the road. Pretty much the same path that we came up on before we hit the road, and then head on that for a bit before going into the forest, which you can see down there. So yeah, so I'm not going to film much of this descent because it's literally what you've seen on the way up.
I think it'd be easier for the slugs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so like a couple of numbnuts, we decided that we would go up the gradual way and then come down the steep way when the ground's slippy. So in hindsight, it wasn't our best move. So we've still got down that to go down to the road. So there's that white van and that yellow Bowser. If you see us on the road after that, you know we've made it. Not our brightest plan, was it?
Little runners would run down there.
Yeah, mad bastards though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not clever, are they?
So that's us down off the steep path onto this track. There's the yellow Bowser I was talking about. So we're back on the road now for a bit. But yeah, top tip would be either go up that way and come down that way, or go up and down that way. Because that's, even if it wasn't frosty, if it was wet, it'd still be quite slippy. So yeah, I would go up the shallow way and come down the same way. Right, back onto this road now, and I'll bring you back when we're turning off into the wood. So there's Ling Fell, where we've come from, and we had about 15 minutes on this road. Slight incline up to this farm, Kelswick Farm, and then you'll see this bench, and we'll just take this track just to the right hand side of the bench. It's really warm now, I might have to delayer in the sun. Really warm, can't believe it's nearly the back end of November. Wythop Church. Wow, like the walls of that have got some stories to tell. What we got here? Oh, that's the old sign. Yeah. Oh. The new one's much nicer.
Yeah, the new one's a lot prettier, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Above the door.
Yeah.
Oh, the new church was built in 1630.
Bloody hell. Yeah. Oh. Right, that's us left Chapel Wood out in the open now. Getting ever closer towards Skidder. Fantastic, look at that. Got good views if you're up there today. Not many times a year Skidder's like that. So it's like this all the way back to the Pheasant Inn, pretty much. I think we do go back into the forest for a short spell. But I am boiling. Back in woods, alongside the lake, down there. Oh, it's nice this now. Out of that sun, it was getting warm in that sun. Right guys, as we've made one schoolboy error today, we decided to level that one up by making the decision to go finish the walk, get back to the car, and then drive the cars to the pub, rather than, as Mossy says, walking up a big hill after a bowl full of chips. So that's what we're going to do. We're just ambling through this wood now. It's really pleasant. I reckon we'll be back in the car in maybe an hour. Back in the car probably. Right guys, we're about just over a mile back to the car, so all the major adventuring's done. So I think I'm going to sign the video off from here. So this has been a 4-hill round, taken in 2 Wainwrights and 2 Birketts. Lothwaite, Rivings, Fell and Ling Fell. Like to thank this man for being back out again. It's nice to see him. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Go and check out his channel. I'll put a link in the video description.
You'll get to see our fish and chips and pint now.
Exactly. So, yeah, so if you've made it this far, fair play to you. And we'll see you out in the hills next time. Take care, all the best.